Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updated news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now, throughout the past few weeks and month, I've received a lot of inquiry. Most of these viewers at the profession of ICT, they're worried. And obviously, if you are in the ICT profession, you probably will feel the same. You worry about whether or not you will be actually get invited and pass the criteria. Now, I think passing the criteria isn't the issue, but it's the points. It seems to be ICT profession requires much higher points than any other profession. Now in this video, I'm gonna take you through numbers of different government information and disclose EOI invitation rounds and points. And then at the end of this video, I will provide a little bit, probably a suggestion what you need to do to actually improve your success rate being invited. Okay, now first of all, let's jump into the immigration's website on the skill select. Now, obviously, you probably has already viewed my previous video in regards to the invitation round back in August. Now, that one was based on 12,200 people get invited, as you can see right here on top of my head, 12,200, and most of them, I mean, probably all of them are all medical related or health related profession. Now you can see here it doesn't even show ICT in this list. Now that also gives a worry. Now why is that? I think ICT has been a very how do I say this, a very popular course, a popular profession. Obviously we're moving into 2022 and moving to 2023. Digital technology, ICT technology has been widely used by the world, but obviously another thing is there has been too many people in this field of expertise. So if there's too many, and you know that in the skill select system that we are seeing here, it's a selection invitation based system. So the highest point get invited. So if we get a lot of people and trying to squeeze into a limited numbers of the invites, obviously then the highest point will actually get it. So it's a very, what I'm trying to say is it is a very competitive profession to actually be selected, or in the career world, if you want to go get employment. And also it's a very competitive profession in the immigration sector as well, and it's not just in Australia. I think it is everywhere. Okay, and that's the fact. Now what do you do if you have not chose your major and you probably will graduate from high school soon? Perhaps not to choose ICT because you don't want to jump into that competitive field where you probably don't have much of opportunity. So probably choose something else. I think that will be one of the first advice. But if you are already in this field, I'll discuss how you can actually improve yourself at the end of this video. Okay, now, so this is invitation based. Now let's go into what we don't really like is the New South Wales skills list. Now obviously a lot of people have followed my channel and looked through this information. It's really unpleasant to actually see it because some of these, look at this, with the points require 110. Now if we go to ICT profession, let's have a look. It's 95 points for ICT manager, and what's the other one? I think if we're moving to the furthermore down, ICT business analyst, multimedia specialist, web developer, software programmer, they are all above 100 points. Now that is why it's not a very favorable profession to be in. But I understand that a lot of people who are in this profession will actually struggle, and perhaps you already been waiting to be invited for a long time now. Why? Again, it's due to the fact it's a very competitive profession, and the number of people holding this kind of professional portfolio, it's just too many. Okay, now moving onwards, this is what we have looked at, the Western Australia's most updated information on their invitation round. So again, let's jump into the ICT profession if we can. Where are we? Okay, here we go. It's still the same. Look at that. ICT, business analysis, project managers, support engineer, and things. They are all around the 90 and 100 points mark. Now that also if we go down to the software engineer, 90 and 95, system admin, system analysis, 90 and 95 as well. So it's, why is it that they are all considering? Of course, I think in the coming future, as I have predicted with the trend, it will come down. But for ICT, it will, but it will not come down as much as compared to all the other profession, because the competitiveness and because the number of people have thrown ICT EOI into the pool. I think they are just humongous number out there. You have to be very good in order to actually get invited. Okay, now last but not least, before I jump into the conclusion to provide you an advice, let's go into the skill assessing authority, which is the Australian Computer Society. Now I noticed they have improved a little bit by providing this information with a summary criteria, which I already clicked it in there. You don't have to go through the guideline, because guideline is like, I don't know, 100 pages. Normally people don't want to go and read it. So if we click on the criteria summary, it will give you into this page. Now this page is actually very good. It provides you whether you have done your ICT degree in Australia or outside of Australia, and how this will actually, skill assessing authority will actually measure. So what this actually meant, for example, if we look at the first two column with the Australian bachelor degree and Australian bachelor degree or higher with ICT major, you only need 1 year of work experiences or professional year to actually get that skill assessment done. So it seemed to be pretty easy. But if we look down towards any other ICT degree done outside of Australia, it's gonna be really discounted on your work experiences and qualification that you have actually gained. So if you get bachelor or higher with ICT major closely related, you need to have 2 years of relevant ICT work experience completed in the last 10 years to actually get skill assessment, compared to 1 year in Australia, or 4 years of ICT work experience complete any time in the past work history. Now what does that mean? That means if you have worked, for example, 8 years in the past 10 years in ICT, whatever the major that you're in, they would deduct the 2 years away. Okay, so the actual year that you can actually use for the skill select points will be 8 years. So a lot of people, they probably graduated 2 or 3 years ago, and they have worked 2 years or 3 years. They may think they can actually get that additional 5 points, but if you do the assessment right, if we follow what the criteria summary here, you probably get nothing, no points at all. They are discounting the work experiences that you actually gain overseas, and also the degree that you actually gain overseas will be discounting as well. So not by saying if it's ICT major and you work not in the closely related, then you need to swap that 4 years of work experience in order to get skill assessment. And if the ICT is not in ICT, you're in the ICT minor in your actual degree, then there will be more further discounting through your work experiences. So you can see that what I'm trying to show is, because ICT is such competitive area of professions, Australia government is actually using different calculations to actually get the best people into Australia. Now, for a nation point of view, obviously that's the right way to do. But for the visa applicant, it gets you more hurdles compared to all the other professions. So what is my advice to you if you're already in ICT profession? Well, perhaps the way you need to improve and increase your points score. So one thing I always recommend is get your English higher. Get to superior English. You get further points quicker and easier. If you cannot get it, if somebody else trying to get it, then obviously he will be prioritized than you. So you might as well get it. And also CCL, try to do the community language the test. If you pass it, you actually get further points. And further to that, you continue obviously to accrue your work experiences, and perhaps you wanted to come into Australia by employment sponsor. But again, that will be a harder part, because if you're not in Australia, how do you get an Australian employer agree to actually employ you? So that's another hard part. But if you can get it, obviously that's a good thing. So let's summarize this. If you're an ICT profession, I would strongly recommend improve your English and do your CCL, because that's the two things that you can actually get further additional points quicker than anything else. Anyway, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.